I want to talk about players that are stand lookers, and I want to talk about parents that are on the glass type of parents. And it goes hand in hand, it's sort of twofold. But we want to make sure that as a player, we're not always looking into the stands to see what mom and dad are doing. Are they giving us a thumbs up or thumbs down? Some players that we train, they know that if their parents are staying in the stands, that they're playing a pretty good game or having a good practice. But if their parents walk out, they think that they're having a bad game, and that's a bad habit to be in, is always looking up in the stands and trying to get that acknowledgement from, mom or dad or whoever it may be that's there watching you. Because you need to be focused on what you're doing, your game, your practice, and you really need to be listening to what the coach is saying, and not if mom and dad are giving you a thumbs up or a thumbs down after one bad shift or maybe one good shift type of scenario. And then on the other hand, parents, you need to give your players space. And that doesn't mean being on the glass, whether it's practice or a game or maybe even a private lesson. Like, allow them to grow and develop, and there's nothing wrong with watching them. But again, you don't want to be so, cheering on the glass all the time and making that your players are always looking for you, because at the end of the day, your players are going to have to grow up. They're going to have to mature, and hopefully the goal is for them to, go play at a high level, whether that's AAA hockey or junior hockey, and they may have to leave home, and they're going to have to get used to mom and dad not being in every game in the stands, and looking for that encouragement, that thumbs up, that thumbs down. And another thing is, parents, don't be texting your players during games, okay? A lot of teams now obviously do take away phones during games, but we also see a lot of players and know a lot of players that they'll get texts from mom or dad during games, and they're responding during periods. And this just isn't a healthy way to go about, your development. You need to be able to handle game-like scenarios. And again, you need to be listening to your coaches, okay? Your coaches are there to help you. They're there to coach you. And they may be saying something different, completely different than what mom and dad want to say, through a text message in the middle of a game, which is just not an appropriate way to approach helping your player. So those are a couple of things to take into mind, and don't be, a player that's always looking in the glass, and try not to be a parent that's, right on the glass.